I think this coffee table was the best project I have ever built. But when I posted a snippet on my socials, I received so much hate like I've never before. This really sucked. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start in the beginning.
So obviously this slab is way too long for a coffee table. So we have to cut it to size. For that we have to go outside because I don't have space in here to actually cut this 260 long freaking slab. So we somehow have to get that outside and then cut it to length. The first step in every live edge table bed is to clean up the slab. So I have to take all the bark off, everything that is loose, clean up all the stuff here, and then we have to fill up the holes with epoxy. I'm super lucky because this one has been already flattened and surfaced to about, I think, 60 grit. So we don't need to do any surfacing, which will save us a ton of time. Okay, this was a task and a half. Made a huge mess, just cleaned up a little bit. Next step, what we have to do is we have to address those voids that are in the... It's a pretty clean slab, but there's a couple of holes in here that we have to address, which I think gives it character, so it's gonna look awesome. We're gonna fill them up with black epoxy because that's gonna look awesome with this black wood slab. Okay guys, we're going to the base. So the first step what we do with the base is we're gonna cut up all the pieces to rough dimensions. And because my mother station doesn't have a dust extraction right now, and it's a beautiful day, we're gonna go outside here and rough cut everything to length. Again guys, it's a rough cut, so I leave like 10 centimeters on every single piece so that I can cut off 5 on each side if I need to. And we cut everything to final length on the table saw. Pretty simple with this circular saw. This is a bit turbo Bosch. It's a beast. So what I do is I just get my carpenter square, measure my measurement, and then with that carpenter square as a guide, I literally just go and cut it. Done. We just cut those shelf pieces to size. Now we're gonna glue them together. And then let them sit overnight.
My camera decided to turn off right at this moment, so we lost the footage of the glue up, but it was pretty straightforward. After we got the shelf out of the clamps, I decided to cut the legs on my brand new Bosch Big Turbo miter saw. This one is battery powered, but Jesus, you wouldn't know it is. And the biggest difference after the accuracy to my previous Ryobi I had is the dust extraction. It's amazing. I'm in the process of building a proper miter saw station with dust extraction, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss this one.
What we have to do next is super tricky. Now we have to figure out how we mount that shelf in there. We're gonna cut out a notch here for that shelf that we glued up earlier. I'm gonna use the table saw for that. I don't have a data blade, but I'm gonna figure it out with my brand new Freud. This could go terribly.
This is where all the drama started. It is not that particular footage that I posted. That will come later on in this video, but I made a mistake here. When I measured that distance to the fence, I forgot to take the thickness of the blade into account. Oh no, it's loose. I realized the problem, but I was committed now to do all 4 legs the same so the shelf would be perfectly level. The fix to this though really got the haters going.
Nice. Nice. So now on the edges here, we need to cut off a 45-degree angle so that these ones sit flush with the back here, okay? So we need to know how deep I have to cut in. To do that is, I'm gonna get my speed square again, line up the leg. I'm literally always using the stock as measurement, okay? And then I just move it forward until both corners are touching the edges of my shelf. And then I have not the exact same thickness. The most accurate thing I have here, to line this one up with the track saw. Okay, I'm taking really my time here to adjust it. Okay. Track saw! That's perfect. Okay, let's see if the English fits 100%. Perfect. Look at this. Now we keep going.
So it just started raining like crazy and then my camera died. I was just testing how it looks, how the shelf looks and everything, and I love it. I love the design. It looks fantastic, but we're finished here. So we're gonna have to fix that.
So guys, I ripped down the shelf and I also ripped down those legs by 5 centimeters. So I just put the slab on top of it. It's not 100% centered yet, but this is a big, nice preview on how it will look. Now we do 10 hours of sanding and then we start our assembly. That was a lot of sanding. So we sanded the whole thing to 180 grit, the legs and the shelf. And now we are ready to do the glue up. This is our next challenge. How do we clamp this sucker in? I don't know yet. So just put it together and see if you can find something. Okay, so what I'm thinking is to use CA glue as clamping power. I think that will be like we can weigh it down with a couple of weights and put some CA glue on the inner side here so it stays together, and then it weighs it down and glues it up here. You know what? Let's just freaking try it. That is anchoring, so there's lots of glue on it. And then it should be fine.
As you can see, I'm making it up as I go along here a lot. I'm a beginner woodworker, and I mean beginner. I started not even 2 years ago, and I'm trying to push my skills with every project I have. I'm also working on my skills to put plans together for you guys. So I've made a plan for free on this base that you can now download in the description below. The one thing I asked though is if you could give me some feedback on this plan, either an Instagram message, email, or even a comment below, so I can improve this for the next set of plans.
Okay, yesterday we did this glue up. Today we came in and we removed all the weights and the board, and it's super rock solid. The big advantage of doing it like that, it's not wobbling. It's 100% straight. So now we try to take care of those gaps. And I think we do that on the table saw. Okay, so I'm now cutting super thin strips. And to do so, I'm gonna replace this throw plate here with my zero clearance plate that I filmed a couple of videos ago. So if you haven't seen that, check that one out.
So as you can see, I'm cutting real thin strips and it's not how you're supposed to do it. So there's obviously a couple of different ways how you can make this a safe cut. I like to get my miter gauge and then put a spacer block between the fence and my workpiece so it can't pinch between the blade and the fence. I was thinking this would make an awesome tip for beginner woodworkers on what not to do and why not to do it. So I set the fence to as thick as I dare, put some blue tape around, put a moving blanket behind me so the offcut wouldn't destroy anything, and then I made this cut. Boy, did I piss off some people here. Don't get me wrong, I love the engagement with everyone and the woodworking community as a whole is awesome and super helpful, but there is that 5% that has to give non-constructive criticism because they really want to tell someone they are an idiot. I'm happy to be called an idiot because I know I am one, but tell me why so I can improve. For me, it was awesome because it really triggered the algorithm and the video hit almost 200,000 views as of recording, and it also sparked a lot of discussions between woodworkers in the comments. So the whole thing didn't really suck for me, but what I expect from other woodworkers to give value, to give constructive criticism, to help other people out, that really sucked. So if you're a beginner woodworker, don't be afraid to put yourself out there and get feedback from people that are better than you and ignore the haters. Or have fun with them, like I did.
Okay guys, so we sanded this one now to 180 grit. Looks nice and smooth. Now I'm gonna clean it off with mineral turpentine and then we're gonna put on the stain. So I haven't had the best experience with this Rubio Monaco pre-coat. I've done a burnt coffee table and the legs turned out really nice with it, and that's the same timber that is here. So we're gonna try to do this exact same thing here as well. We're gonna put it on, wipe it off as much as we can, and I hope this time we don't have that many problems with overlapping, streaks and inconsistency in the finish. This time we are way more prepared than last time. I have an applicator pad here that I bought from Bunnings. It's like a white non-abrasive Scotch-Brite pad. Then obviously we have our roller here. I have also prepared a little foam brush. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna use that, maybe for the edges here. We will see. I'm trying to use the applicator patch. We have plenty of rags to get all of the stain off. And this time I'm gonna use gloves because last time I used that, I had black hands for a week. Wow, that's thick.
We just cut the tabletop to size and sanded it to 180 grit. We filled in all the little cracks and crevices with CA glue, and now we are ready to finish it with Rubio Monaco 2C. I love this finish because it is so easy to apply. You just spread it out and after 5 minutes you wipe it off as much as you can. Rubio says you can leave too much on, but you can't wipe too much off. So we're cutting out a notch for each and every leg for our figure 8 fasteners before we apply the 2C on our legs. These figure 8 fasteners are awesome. They will be plenty strong for this table, and they also account for wood movement. They look like figure 8s where one side of them are fastened to the base and the other to the tabletop. The round shape lets the fasteners move back and forth, so when the tabletop expands, it allows this movement. And there you have it, guys. I'm super proud of how this one turned out. Don't forget to check out the free plan in the description below. And because you stuck around for that long, I let you into an exclusive behind the scenes look on how we did this thumbnail. Thanks again, Maya and Noemi, for helping me out on this. As always, I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. We got this direction, bigger steps. I'm gonna put that in my video. This is so funny. Okay.